Good evening and welcome to St Ambrose Grindleton for our service of evening prayer for the fourth Sunday in Lent. We begin by singing the hymn, Teach Me My God and King. Teach me my God and King, in all things thee to see, and what I do in anything to do it as for thee. A man that looks on glass, on it may stay his eye, or if he pleaseth through it pass, and then the heaven spy. Only of thee partake, nothing can be so mean, but with his tincture for thy sake will not grow bright and keen. A servant with his cause makes drudgery divine, who sweeps the room as for thy laws, makes that and the action fine. This is the famous style that turneth all to gold, for that which God doth touch and own cannot for less be sold. O Lord, open thou our lips.
And our mouth shall show forth thy praise.
O God, make speed to save us.
O Lord, make haste to help us.
Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Ghost.
As it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen.
Praise ye the Lord.
The Lord's name be praised.
In thee, O Lord, will I put my trust. Let me never be put to confusion. Deliver me in thy righteousness.
Bow down thine ear to me. Make haste to deliver me.
And be thou my strong rock and house of defence, that thou mayest save me.
For thou art my strong rock and my castle. Be thou also my guide, and lead me for thy name's sake.
Draw me out of the net that they have laid privily for me, for thou art my strength.
Into thy hands I commend my spirit. For thou hast redeemed me, O Lord, thou God of truth.
I have hated them that hold of superstitious bounties, and my trust has been in the Lord.
I will be glad and rejoice in thy mercy. For thou hast considered my trouble, and hast known my soul in adversities.
Thou hast not shut me up into the hand of the enemy, but hast set my feet in a large room.
Have mercy upon me, O Lord, for I am in trouble, and mine eye is consumed for very heaviness, yea, my soul and my body.
For my life is waxen old with heaviness, and my years with mourning. My strength faileth me because of my iniquity, and my bones are consumed.
I became a reproof among all my enemies, but especially among my neighbours. And they of mine acquaintance were afraid of me, and they that did see me without conveyed themselves from me.
I am clean forgotten as a dead man out of mind. I am become like a broken vessel.
For I have heard the blasphemy of the multitude, and fear is on every side. For they conspire together against me, and take their counsel to take away my life.
But my hope hath been in thee, O Lord. I have said, Thou art my God. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Ghost.
As it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen.
It beginneth the reading from Ecclesiasticus. The spirit of those who fear the Lord will live, for their hope is in him who saves them. Those who fear the Lord will not be timid, or play the coward, for he is their hope. Happy is the soul that fears the Lord. To whom does he look, and who is his support? The eyes of the Lord are on those who love him, a mighty shield and strong support, a shelter from scorching wind and a shade from noonday sun. a guard against stumbling and a help against falling. He lifts up the soul and makes the eyes sparkle. He gives health, life, and blessing. If one sacrifices ill-gotten goods, the offering is blemished. The gift of the lawless are not acceptable. The Most High is not pleased with the offerings of the ungodly, nor for a multitude of sacrifices does he forgive sins. Like one who kills a son before his father's eyes is the person who offers a sacrifice from the property of the poor. The bread of the needy is the life of the poor. Whoever deprives them of it is a murderer. To take away a neighbour's living is to commit murder. To deprive an employee of wages is to shed blood. When one builds and another tears down, what do they gain but hard work? When one prays and another curses, to whose voice will the Lord listen? If one washes after touching a corpse and touches it again, what has been gained by washing? So if someone fasts for his sins and goes again and does the same thing, who will listen to his prayer? And what has he gained by humbling himself? Here endeth the first reading. We sing the office hymn, The King of Love, My Shepherd is. The King of Love, my shepherd is, whose goodness faileth never. I nothing lack if I am his, and he is mine forever. Where streams of living water flow, my rams of sword he leadeth, and where the verdant pastures grow, with food celestial feedeth. Perverse and foolish oft I strayed, but yet in love he sought me, and on his shoulder gently laid, and home rejoicing brought me. In death's dark vale I fear no ill, with thee, dear Lord, beside me. Thy rod and staff my comfort still, thy cross before to guide me. Thou spreadst a table in my sight, thine unction grace bestoweth, and thou art transport of delight, from thy pure chalice floweth. And so through all the length of days, thy goodness faileth never. Good Shepherd, may I sing thy praise within thy house forever. My soul doth magnify the Lord, and my spirit hath rejoiced in God my Saviour.
For he hath regarded the lowliness of his handmaiden.
For behold, from henceforth all generations shall call me blessed.
For he that is mighty hath magnified him, and holy is his name.
And his mercies on them that fear him throughout all generations.
He hath showed strength with his arm. He hath scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts.
He hath put down the mighty from their seat, and hath exalted the humble and meek.
He hath filled the hungry with good things, and the rich he hath sent empty away.
He, remembering his mercy, hath holpen his servant Israel, as he promised to our forefathers Abraham and his seed forever.
Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Ghost.
As it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen.
Here beginneth the reading from the Gospel of Mark. As soon as it was morning, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council. They bound Jesus, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate. Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" He answered him, "You say so." Then the chief priests accused him of many things. Pilate asked him again, "Have you no answer? See how many charges they bring against you." But Jesus made no further reply, so that Pilate was amazed. Now at the festival he used to release a prisoner for them, anyone for whom they asked. Now a man called Barabbas was in prison with the rebels, who had committed murder during the insurrection. So the crowd came and began to ask Pilate to do for them according to his custom. Then he answered them, "Do you want me to release for you the king of the Jews?" For he realized that it was out of jealousy that the chief priests had handed him over. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to have him release Barabbas for them instead. Pilate spoke to them again. "Then what do you wish me to do with the man you call the king of the Jews?" They shouted back, "Crucify him." Pilate asked them, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Crucify him." So Pilate, wishing to satisfy the crowd, released Barabbas for them, and after flogging Jesus, he handed him over to be crucified. Then the soldiers led him into the courtyard of the palace, that is the governor's headquarters, and they called together the whole cohort. And they clothed him in a purple cloak, and after twisting some thorns into a crown, they put it on him. And they began saluting him, "Hail, King of the Jews!" They struck his head with a reed, spat upon him, and knelt down in homage to him. After mocking him, they stripped him of the purple cloak and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him out to crucify him. They compelled a passer-by who was coming in from the country to carry his cross. It was Simon of Cyrene, the father of Alexander and Rufus. There ends the second lesson.
Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace, according to thy word.
For mine eyes have seen thy salvation,
which thou hast prepared before the face of all people,
to be a light to lighten the Gentiles, and to be the glory of thy people Israel.
Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Ghost.
As it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen.
I believe in God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, and in Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord, who was conceived by the Holy Ghost, born of the Virgin Mary, suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, dead, and buried. He descended into hell. The third day he rose again from the dead. He ascended into heaven, and sitteth on the right hand of God the Father Almighty. From thence he shall come to judge the quick and dead. I believe in the Holy Ghost, the Holy Catholic Church, the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, the resurrection of the body, and the life everlasting. Amen. The Lord be with you.
And with thy spirit.
Let us pray. Lord, have mercy upon us.
Christ, have mercy upon us.
Lord, have mercy upon us. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive them that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. O Lord, show thy mercy upon us.